right. Good morning, folks, and happy
Good
Saturday.
morning,
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I'm Michelle Bloom with Sideline Sisters here with my partner.
Angela Courtney. Good morning.
Whoo! And do we have a lot to unpack
We
from
do.
the March Madness on Friday night between UCLA Bruins and the Texas Longhorns and South Carolina Gamecocks versus the Uconn Huskies. But we're going to start this morning out. We're going to talk about the last game, UCLA Bruins and Texas Longhorns, because I think it's going to take us a minute to talk about that South Carolina and Connecticut game. That's the elephant in the room, that game right there. But we're gonna kick this thing off between UCLA and Texas. This game from the jump, and I think I might have mentioned this, that if Texas can outrun and outscore UCLA and contain bets some kind of way, they might have a chance. And I think we all saw it in the beginning. They were triple teaming this girl. Were they not, Courtney?
They tried.
They tried their damnedest. It was successful for most of the first half, I will say.
For most of
But
the
they
first,
figured out a way, which meant if you got 3 on bets, that means you have two open players left for UCLA Bruins, right?
right.
This was a game where UCLA stifled Texas. Texas, I want to say, shot 30% from the game, and their head coach, Vic Schaefer, which hats are off to Vic Schaefer because I think he's a very well coach. He's been to the championship. He's won a championship at Mississippi State before. So he knows what it takes and how to get there. And of course, they could not make a shot last night, and he even mentioned that was his fear in the last 3 days, was them not making a shot. And of course, he said, I have no idea why the good Lord picked tonight for us not to be able to make a shot. That is exactly what he said. And he said, I think this will haunt me as a coach probably until the day I die.
Well,
I
Dick
hate
has
it
to,
for senior. Go ahead.
I said Dick has to remember man has free will.
That's it. That's it. And when UCLA held down Madison Booker, who was averaging about 18 points, she couldn't, what the people say, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah, but
3 for 23. Can we say 3 for 23?
Yeah, she had 8 points.
3 for 23.
Their guards
6.
couldn't.
I would love to give her 8, but she was 3 for 23. She had 6 points.
You know what though? I have to give hats off to Coach Corey because she saved all her timeouts for that fourth quarter because she needed it when they threw that full court press on her.
She needed it. When I tell you, UCLA, they set the defensive tone early in that game, contesting every single shot, holding Texas to just 6 points in the first quarter. This score right here, you got high school teams scoring more points than the points combined for the first half. I was just blown away.
Well, you know, Coach Corey was like, she said, well, it's more like a rugby score than it is a basketball score. She said, but I told my girls, I said, we're going to have to be ready for the physicality because Texas did bring the physicality. You know, as Laura Betts hits the floor after Maddie Book ran into her, I thought that was a scary moment right there. I thought she was going to have concussion protocol.
Oh man, because her head, she went down, she hit it. But you know what I said, and this is what happened again when I stated as far as who the coaches are going to have to rotate in. These folks that you have not been seeing starting the game, which Odacker did not start the game, but once he put her in the game, he called that timeout, put her in. It just changes things up of how you have to adjust because she takes up space. Odacker takes up space. You got to move around her. And I think it was clutch when he.
Yeah, she was leaning on Laura bit, so it made it a little tougher for her to make her shots. But honey, she showed you her skill. She was in her bag last night. That's what I want to say. She was in her bag.
She was in her bag. She did that. Uh, number one, you cannot, and this just goes back to me. When you are on this NCAA stage, when you're playing for a Division I caliber school, and you cannot go on the left side and make a left-hand layup, that bothers me. You're trying to go, first of all, and I'm speaking specifically on a play where Madison Booker went down, had a breakaway down the court. She dribbles from the right side, Courtney. I kid you not. She goes to the left where the tallest player on the floor, 6'7" Betts, goes up with her right hand. So already you got my right hand and you got Lauren Betts. Who gonna win that?
Lauren Betts.
Betts all day. Betts all day. I'm gonna see. Betts had how many blocks last night? She only had 3 blocks, but they were crucial blocks. I'm not going in there with them trees.
But you know what? She's not like a big, like she was trying to block everything. But when it presented itself, she did get some key blocks. And I think that kind of disrupted what Texas had in mind, because usually they the layup queens up in a game. They really do the inside outside well, but they did not shoot well. But I also see that all of UCLA girls, their starting 5 played a lot of big minutes.
Oh gosh, they did.
Yeah.
And it was back to back. You know, I thought it was like, man, is somebody going to slow this thing down to try, kind of get some controls? Because I think they were down 10 points going into the fourth quarter, Texas. Then they got a little momentum behind them. They had a couple of back-to-back baskets. Madison Booker hit a shot. Then Roy Harmon came down. Your girl, I can't even think of her last name. She came down and scored, and they got back within 3 points of this ball game.
Jordan Lee.
Yes, that's her.
Behind
Jordan Lee.
Yeah, Jordan Lee. Roy Harmon had 8, because you know Booker sat most of the game after she got those 3 fouls. I mean, I think some of the fouls was just like, well, more probably she was a little bit overly aggressive.
Yeah.
But Justin Carter had 7, and Jordan Lee had 7, and Roy Harmon had 8, and nobody else had anything higher than that other than Odacker, who had 11.
Oh, yeah. But what I can say, though, is, like I said, in the first half, Betts probably only had 6 points. And, you know, she came out and scored 10 points in the second half, to where they let up off of that pressure that they was giving her in the first half. I don't know why. Like I said, they were triple teaming her.
Also, Dick went with a smaller lineup. I mean, not Dick. I'm sorry. UCLA went with a smaller lineup and taking Betts out, which I think, you know, with that combination that they had in there, they did very well. I mean, they were able to. I don't think Texas led one time in this game.
They did not. They did not. They trailed the entire game.
They trailed
and
the game.
It Corey, was what's head coach name? Corey, what's her name? Corey something.
Close.
Corey Close.
Yeah.
She smelled it last year. She didn't like that feeling that they walked away with last year. You and I were both there. And we just saw the disappointment on her face, in those players' face, when they got slaughtered last year by what did they play? Uconn?
Yeah.
Yeah, because South Carolina and Uconn were on the opposite side. So they got slaughtered by Uconn last year. And so, you know, she just wanted, first of all, to make some school history last year. She didn't get the opportunity. And guess what? This year, they're getting to make school history. Going to their first ever national natty, their first natty game, which is going to be exciting. Now, this moment right here, he had nothing but good things. Raw emotion right here after the game. Raw emotion right here, talking to a senior. She's short, but I know she's going to be in that WNBA draft that's going to be coming up in another week.
I wish her the best because she had an awesome senior year. She did a daggone thing. She deserves everything. She deserves her flowers.
She does. Hats off.
I think that was that moment right there. But
Yeah.
anyway, can we get to the first game of the night?
Yes. Let's do it.
Michelle, were you nervous? I was nervous. I had butterflies like I was playing.
Heart palpitations.
Heart palpitations. First,
beating out my chest.
Let me share the introductions, which I love. I wonder if the crowd saw the same thing we saw.
Tessa Johnson. Who can guard Tessa? Shania Latson. If you in trouble, call Agent Zero. Joyce Edwards. Powerpuff is in her 2 puffs. Medina Ocott. Big Mama Donnie. Coach Staley. Gucci Louis Prada. She really is the Don Dada.
All right, y'all. So that was the intro. I love that. I loved it. They did it for all the teams, but that was just awesome. I love that. Sitting at home.
And I love seeing the coach just kind of letting their hair down, getting in there with their players, So I love that.
Yes. So let's first of all give South Carolina their flowers. I mean, I was in it from the beginning until the end. I could not release until after the end of third quarter. After third quarter, I felt like, oh, we about to do this. We about to set it up.
Right.
And
right.
They just did South Carolina. They interrupted. I would say Joyce had a subpar game, but she was 5 for 14, which is not too bad. There was some unnecessary fouls called on her, just so that they could prove to Gino after he made this little comment at halftime. But I'm gonna show you that in a minute. Medina Ocott, she didn't have the greatest of games, but when they needed her, she did what she needed to do. And, Tessa, who can guard Tessa? Now go ahead, Michelle.
Who can guard Tessa? But you know who I was rooting for. And again, she did not start the game. And as soon as she put her in the game, the floor just opened up.
You said it. You called it in the last podcast. You said she would be the difference, and she was. Because it's like question mark. Who can guard McKeer?
McKeer. They got McKeer. Y'all gonna remember that name, y'all. She gonna be around for a while.
I'm saying she does it with such poise, such like just.
She does. I mean, it was like a gazelle running down the floor. She went coast to coast. Probably took 4 steps to get there and went up for the layup all the way in. Now it was maybe 1 or 2 shots that I said McKeer. This is the freshman coming out.
Yeah, this was a 3. It was 1 shot she took that was just off bounds. Like, you shouldn't have took that shot. There was nobody down there to rebound.
Yeah, she went in, and I think she forced the shot up that I think, okay, you're going to learn from that. Don't do that. Don going to tell her, don't do that tomorrow.
Yes.
You're going to get your stuff smacked.
They held it. So at halftime, let me see, did I put that up there? Halftime, the score was like 24-26. I had a picture for it, but I can't find it. But anyway, with Raven on the bench, because she picked up 2 early fouls. Girl, did you see her down there in the post holding off Sarah Strong?
What? Like, boom, back. You're not getting this. You're not today.
Get off the block. I got you.
Yes. Oh,
Raven.
My gosh.
She only had 2 points, but her presence alone Hurry.
SEC Defensive Player of the Year did her job when you held down the Naismith National Player of the Year, who is also averaging 18 points. Last night, she didn't look like a Naismith National Player of the Year.
She had 12. She was interrupted. She was disrupted.
Interrupted, disrupted, deconstructed is what they did. South Carolina did to UConn's offense.
She was 4 for 16. She did hit 2 for 5, but who also was interrupted? Didn't I tell you if they shut down AZ Fudd, she couldn't hit nothing in that first half. She did start going, getting a little heated in that second half, but she was 2 for 9 for threes, and she was 3 for 15 on field goals. She was interrupted. She played all but 1 minute of that entire game.
Mm-hmm.
While when Raven is not on, guess who usually steps up? Her sister, Tanaya
Laddie.
Laxton. She had 16 points. She hit a lot of key shots. She was 10 from 10. She was 100% from the free throw line. They shot 82% from the free throw line.
The fact that she went to the line that many times and she went 100% from the free throw.
Yes.
They were 18 for 22 from the free throw last night. So that made a huge difference. Just look how many points they lost by. They lost by 12, but them free throws right there, key points. And it wasn't like their field goal percentage was all that great.
No, they shot 38% to UConn's 31%. Their 3-pointers.
So they took fewer shots, made more, but the free throw line definitely made a difference. And that's where I guess we can go talk about the fouls. How do you think the officiators were officiating?
I think the referees let them play. And made a comment that at halftime that they had 6 fouls and they were all called. They called 6 fouls and they were all called against us. Well, your girls were fouling in the beginning, knocking them out of bounds, knocking them down, being the physical team. So I think the reffing was fair. And after he made that little comment, they did start tightening up on the fouls.
Yeah.
And people were picking up those fouls.
Yes.
I think it was decent refereeing. But you the referee, what you think?
I thought on both sides, there could have been a couple of calls that could have been called against South Carolina, but it was kind of hit or miss. I mean, I think they only had to go to the did they even have to go to the table to even look back at something? Out of bounds call. Maybe 2.
Yeah, maybe 2 that they had
that were questionable. There was a couple of calls. It's like, and I didn't really get to hear Decanter explain the rationale behind, a call that was made or whatnot. But your boy Gino, which the internet is on fire right now, exploding, lost his cool.
Let me show it, Michelle. Let me add it to the stage. Hello, it's me. The wrong one, sorry. I think it's
with this angry old man shit after he got his ass whooped. Boy, don't you ever disrespect Don Staley in your life. All them natties for what? Get your ass kicked and act like that. We didn't watch you whoop ass for decades. People had to take it. You get your ass whooped live and direct in the Final Four and pull this lame ass shit talking about a handshake pregame? A pregame handshake? Nigga, you should be worried about the game. I don't care if she didn't shake the man hand before the game, but she did. Mind you, it's less than a second left in the game. And then they cut to Gino. He got this smug ass look on his face. Bro acting like the dude at the park that lost and trying to take his ball with him. I still can't believe he tried to pull this sick ass shit. He thought of the first thing he could get mad at and just pulled that shit out his ass. You didn't shake my hand pregame. Then ESPN pulled up the receipt. She dapped up everybody. That's one thing Don do is respect everybody. She gave a 16-seat Louis V. I'ma slow it down one more time just so y'all can see her dap this man up. And listen to this halftime rant. This man was tweaking the entire time and was not correct about nothing.
Right. There were 6 fouls called that quarter, all of them against us. And they've been beating the shit out of our guys down there the entire game. And I'm not making excuses because we haven't been able to make a shot. But this is ridiculous.
Yes, you are.
Their coach rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referee some names you don't want to hear. And now we get 6-0, and I got a kid with a ripped jersey, and they go, I didn't see it. Come on, man. This is for the national championship.
Look, I get it. 6-0 is crazy. Sometimes you got to complain and try to get a call. But on this play, there was no foul, and Sarah Strong must have thought she was goddamn Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or something. Ain't seen a sky hook in a minute. And then we all seen her rip her own jersey. He talking about they being overly physical. They didn't rip her jersey. She did it. Post-game, Don still explaining herself. Look who's nowhere to be found. Gino Auriemma. And ain't shake no hands. He headed to the back, and he is pouting by himself. Like I said, he done whooped a lot of ass. He got to learn how to take an ass whoop. They beat South Carolina last year by 23. Don took it on the chin. This man got beat and started making shit up. That's some old school old man hating right there.
I have no idea, but I'm gonna let you know this. I'm of integrity. So if I did something wrong to Gino, I had no idea what I did. I guess he thought I didn't shake his hand at the beginning of the game. I didn't know. I went down there pregame, shook everybody on his staff's hand. I don't know what he came with after the game, but hey, sometimes things get heated. We move on.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, you know what? He said the truth about one thing that came out his mouth. Only thing I can agree with him on is, yeah, we done seen Dawn say some things to officials when she was pissed off about something. And she probably did call them everything but their official name. Because most of the time, these college coaches know these officials by their first name. So she probably like, P, what the hell? What was that? You know that call was BS. And so forth. So that's the only thing I can agree that came out of his mouth.
You might be right on that. But I was glad that I stuck around and watched the post game. One of the first questions that the interviewers asked Sarah Strong, well, what happened to your jersey? Sarah sat there, her coach, one person over because her and AZ Fudd. Oh, I got frustrated and ripped it by mistake. She did. Did we not see on the video who ripped her shirt?
Like she was Hulk Hogan.
Sure did. So anyway, in the interview, when they asked him, he said the same thing. The South Carolina players, and I got a kid with a ripped jersey. He said the same thing. She just sat there beside you and said she ripped her own jersey. He was on. Michelle, I'm gonna go ahead and say he was on some real MAGA juice lying last night.
Well, you know, it just pisses me off because, and I'm glad the internet ripped him a new butthole, excuse me, or whatnot, because at first I thought the narrative was going to be changed, and it was because the camera was all in Don's mouth, right? We saw Gino's back, so we don't know what he said, but we can tell a little bit by what Don said. And I was going to say, now she's going to look like she's the angry black woman and all. No. So, you know, of course, there's that double, triple standard. You get mad, you're angry. But no, you got whooped by Dawn Staley, who is one. First of all, she's the number one highest paid women's basketball coach. Gino, you are second highest paid. Okay, so let's talk about that. Now, I've seen Uconn get their butt whooped by Pat Summitt from Tennessee. Now, did he go off like that? No. Now, was the officiating in the game, were they letting them play a little looser back then than they did now? Probably not. But still, he went up gracefully, shook her hand, wasn't in her face. Like, this man goes, this is before the game is even over.
Well, Michelle, let me tell you, let me clear at the moment that he felt like Don was wrong. So we know Don usually before the game, she daps up everybody, the refs, even the ushers. Everybody gets a dap from Don.
Oh, yeah.
There was a moment before that he said was tradition. I guess that's tradition for Uconn. That he said he waited at half court for Don to come. Don was with her team, getting them, you know how they were all in their little huddle and they were talking. So that was the moment that he was talking about that she didn't shake his hand. But like she was in game mode. She was trying to get her team ready. and you gonna pick out that one little incident.
Y'all want to what? Have drinks at the bar? What? Right. This is for the national championship that she did not get to go to last year, that she is trying to take her team there again. And guess what? Again, he just got outcoached. That's it. He got outcoached. He stifled everybody. Their defense stifled. When I say Raven was that gnat that did not go away last night, that did not go away. Because, yeah, that right there, that's humble pie right there. 82-59. She didn't say one negative thing about that game. If we went back, they got blew out. She couldn't even say anything. Again, you and I were both there. We witnessed this. It was no words, nothing.
She took his hand,
to be said.
Did what she did, and went on. But I'm glad she handled it with grace, because that's the person that she is, and it just made him look stupid. He got ate up on TikTok. He got ate up on Instagram. He got ate up on Facebook. You getting ate up on YouTube.
Hey. Boy, I wish we had it up here, because when they went through that huddle, well, when Gino came over and his assistant came over and had to pull him back, I said, oh, the Philly girl is coming out. And that's when I wanted us to play Glorilla song, as the kids say, let her cook.
That was a hot mess. It was you embarrassed your girls. You embarrassed your girls, Gino. That was just wrong. It's just wrong.
I'm pretty sure the NCAA better find him for cursing when he was speaking to Holly Rowe. Of course, I mean, he got all the money in the world, so that's going to be a little bit chump change right there for him. But I need to see them come out with a fine, because anybody else, guess what?
They would have got
fined. They would be fined.
They might find them both, because Dawn was up there, but she wasn't saying it on television. She said, I will whoop his ass.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. The Philly girl, he brought the street out.
But you know what?
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying he brought the Philly girl out. Trust me. You don't want to go there.
I read her book, Uncommon Favor. She talked about one instant where a coach said some things, and she ended up suing him for defamation of character. She said she learned that spitefulness from her mom. But I got one more video, Michelle. I know things you got to do, so I'm gonna add this to the stage. This is after
there we go. Y'all, we got Uconn sitting at home this year, and we got South Carolina going back with, again, my hats is off to Corey Close for taking her UCLA Bruins to the Natty.
Right. To the Natty. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game, and I much prefer that they play UCLA than Texas. Because both teams are going to be like, this is going to be new, because they have not played each other. UCLA and Texas actually played each other this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they did. So,
and I think UConn not playing South Carolina kind of didn't. I mean, you can look on paper and see what to prepare for, but the way South Carolina defends and just do what they do, it's hard to and when you live and in person, it's a whole different thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. So who you got in this next game? UCLA or your South Carolina Gamecocks?
Michelle, I told you I'm gonna ride my Gamecocks. Both of my brackets got busted this year. Both of them. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely rocking with Don. Louis Vuitton Don. That's my name for Louis Vuitton Don.
Don Gata.
Yes. So if they can keep up this momentum, bring that same energy that they had, I think they have a good chance, because this bets is just like for UConn, they had to stifle Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd, get in their head, which they did. They can do the same thing.
Well, I will say this: South Carolina guards are faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Their hands are everywhere, and we witnessed that last night. So
Yeah, we did.
about the Gamecocks. Let's go Gamecocks. Let's get it.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. You see my cousin walking back there in the podcast.
I said, hey, cuz.
All righty.
Let's not. Hey, that's it for me. You got anything else?
No, but next time, guess what? We're gonna talk about who won this shit, but we also gonna talk about these WNBA lottery results. I'll just run down them real quick. Number one pick are the Dallas Wings. They got the number one pick in the WNBA draft. Also, you got the number two pick is going to be Minnesota. Isn't that hard to believe? Minnesota Lynx. But they might have gotten that number two pick from a trade made. I'm the only reason why I say that. Number three pick is going to be Seattle. Then number four is going to be Mystics. And then number five is going to be Chicago Sky. So Dallas Wings, Minnesota Lynx, Seattle Storm, Washington Mystics, and Chicago Sky. And next time we'll come back with the rosters were made for your new expansion team, Portland and Toronto.
Let's talk
so
about it.
We'll talk about that after we find out who's going to win this natty.
Oh, God, I'm so nervous.
Tune in tomorrow. The game will be on ABC. So if you don't have cable, you actually have a chance to watch the national championship game. Go get them antenna, them ears, as they said back in the day.
Or maybe one of those little Asian countries will be showing it like they do on YouTube. Shh.
Yeah, if they don't have anything scrolling across the middle of the screen.
No, it's usually pretty good. I mean, they might be behind, like, you know, the regular showing of the game, but you can see everything.
Okay. Y'all tune in tomorrow. I think the game starts at 3:30 on ABC.
ABC.
So you got those UCLA Brewers taking on the South Carolina Gamecocks, y'all. Number ones going against number ones. I love it. East Coast against West Coast.
Let's go. Let's go, Gamecocks. Y'all, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at SidelineSisters3542@gmail.com. Who you got? Who you got? Tell us who you want to win this game.